I'm going to start attacking the same way, right? We've done the basic armbar where I cross grip, right? Pull everything in. Great for friction, great for control, all right? It's just a little bit different than what we're working on right now. We're working a little bit more for speed, right? Speed and angle. Okay, so I'm controlling that elbow and head. Whatever arm I'm controlling, I'm stepping and I'm squeezing that knee in, right? Blocking that arm so he can't pull it in. My other foot comes to the back of his head, all right? And that should free my hand now. If my leg is holding his head down, I don't need that hand there anymore, right? And now, so if I'm not quite at the angle I want, now I can dive underneath that leg to help get my head off to the side. Now I should be able to get my old hip over his head in order to bite. Now, Carl's not just going to sit here and take it. He's going to rear naked choke his arms. He's going to step up. He's going to start trying to get his arm out, right? So I've got his arm trapped. I got his leg. I've got my angle, but I can't pull his arm through his other arm. So I'm not going to try. I'm just going to take this foot on the back of his head. I'm going to try to touch the ground, and my other foot is going to try to touch Charlie's nose. And I'm going to knock him over. Okay? So now this arm that's holding onto his arm, I wasn't very deep, so I'm going to dive in, elbow deep. I'm going to lock those ankles in order to start squeezing my legs. I can let go of his legs, and now we call this position spiderweb. Right? And now I can start attacking his arms, splitting the brakes, right?
I didn't know there was a name for that position.
Spiderweb, yep.
Spiderweb.
If his hand goes underneath, I can start getting all fancy and go to like bicep cutters and all kinds of stuff, right? So we call this an armbar sweep. You'll hear different versions of this sweep called different things. But it's all about getting my hips over and putting their head on the ground. Armbar sweep, flower sweep, pendulum sweep.
All that blue belt stuff.
Whole bunch of different names, right? So I mean, I can do the same thing, just controlling the wrist, diving under, and kicking my hips. Okay, but it's all about that spin of my hips. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So we're going to do it off the armbar just because it's a little bit more control, a little bit less dynamic. Elbow, head. I want to finish the match if I can. So I'm going to keep everything nice and tight, dive underneath. My legs are squeezing. My foot's not even on his hip, but I'm still squeezing my legs until I step over that head. He defends by bicep cut, or grabbing his bicep. He steps up and keeps his butt down. He's trying to prevent this by keeping my legs over my head, right? So I'm going to try to touch the ground, keep his head bent. My other arm is going to take his head over his foot in order to dump him over. Now I don't want to keep holding on to that far leg because he's going to turn his hips towards me, try to sneak his elbow out. You see? So as soon as we fall over, I'm going to grab that bottom leg. That's the one that keeps his hips from turning over. Squeezing everything together. Yep. Get him up on his back. Now I can start attacking. Questions? All right, so attack the armbar. Person on top. All right. So he goes for attacks his armbar. Yeah, boom. I'm grabbing my bicep. Grabbing the back of his leg. Grab that tendon right on the outside of that knee there. My back leg, the one closest to his butt, is going to step up. And I try to sit down so my head doesn't start going over his body, right? I'm trying to keep my head over my hips. By biting down with his leg, he bends my head. His other foot takes me over. And then I fall. All right? Questions? 1, 2, 3.